Hello, hello, everybody. Good to see you guys. Welcome, everyone. You've made it to Soul Pet. We're on for another Monday night, and I can't wait to connect with all you guys. So I see everybody already asking questions. Everybody's already chit-chatting amongst themselves. So that is fantastic, and we'll get to all those questions in just a minute. Tonight, I'm feeling like I need to go down the rabbit hole. I can't explain it. Just I didn't have any specific topic in mind. Like nothing came to me that yeah, except to go play, right? Just to play. That's what I wanted to do, play. So that's why we're going to do the rabbit hole tonight. And I did have some really interesting questions from people this week. So I'm going to start out with those and we'll look at all your questions and we'll see where this conversation takes us about how our amazing animal companions are not just pets. Now, we all know that in this community, but we're going to explore it even deeper. But first, for all my channel members, hello. I will say hello to you in just a moment. For anybody who is watching this for the very first time, my name is Elaine. I'm an animal Reiki master and animal chaplain, an animal medium. I do everything for our connection with animals. It is important to me to really go deeper into the human-animal bond, and that includes with our soul pets who have crossed to the other side. So this channel is dedicated to all of you who have experienced pet loss, who are experiencing pet loss, who may be on a journey of grief, whether it's 10 years ago or 10 days ago, or so fresh as in today. You have found the place where you need to be. This is a place where you can be held. You will see just by looking in the comments already that we have a wonderful supportive community here. We have a group of people which you are welcome to join who hold each other and hold you. Even if you're a stranger and you've never even said hello before, please do and let us know your soul pet's name because we will be honored and happy to hold you and your soul pet. And to be with you and support you in your journey. Know that you are not alone. And when people on this channel tell you that they love you, even though they've never seen you, never heard of you before, have never talked to you before this moment, know that there are people here who love you. We express our love as compassion. The deepest way to honor you without judgment is what we do here at Soul Pet. So with that, let's go ahead and get going. I'm going to say, reminder, this is a conversation. Wait, reminder number one. Is to please like, subscribe, share if this content resonates with you or if it's something that you think might be beneficial for somebody else, a family member, a friend who has gone through pet loss. And then a reminder that this is a conversation. So this is a live stream. Even if you're watching it on the replay, you'll notice a lot of interaction. We have a great group of channel members here and a great group of regular viewers. And we talk back and forth. Even though it's my voice that does the talking, everybody has comments and we chat amongst ourselves. I look at questions, I look for comments. Sometimes I miss things, but I do the best I can for being a one-woman show. And yeah, so it's a conversation. I just want you to be prepared for that, that there's no format to it. There's no real structure. We just let the conversation go where it may. Let's say hello to everybody. All right, all my beautiful channel members. Pat, hello, hello. Oh boy, that's like a little kid song that I learned from my granddaughter. Hello, hello. Can you clap your hands? All right, so Pat, it's great to see you here. Sherry, awesome to have you here. Sharon, welcome, welcome. Gina, fantastic to have you here also. And Caroline, hello. And Z, it is great to see you here also. Anne, hello, hello. Who are we missing yet? I haven't seen our Kathys. There's a couple people that I haven't seen on here yet, so I'm sure that they'll jump on. For the rest of our viewers, let's say hello, and then we'll get to some questions. Lady Lemon, good to see you. You're gonna always have to remind me of your first name. It will get there eventually. Sarah, hello. Ella, hello. And dun, dun, dun. Okay, so wherever Lady Lemon is, she says good morning. So you must be in a different country because we are here in the evening. Hey Jody, how you doing? And Soul Pet's name is Kai. He was 15 and he was yours for 14 years, 5 months, and 21 precious days. And we hold you and Kai close in our hearts. I hope I'm saying that right, Kai. We hold you absolutely close in our hearts. We've all been through, I mean, my beautiful animal companions were with me almost as long. They were a little bit younger when they passed, but no, Kali is, yeah, where is Kali? Come to think of it, I don't see Kali. And then there was me. You're right, Sharon. We are missing Kali at the moment. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed that everything's okay with Kali. And And Cheryl, there you go. Hey, Cheryl, Ms. Nonya, New York business. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at some questions, and then I'll talk about what we're gonna talk about tonight. And I'm really feeling a need just to spice it up a little bit. I when I do these live streams, most of you know who are regular viewers, that I take a few minutes and I just go inside and inside myself. I go inside and I just close my eyes and I think and I ask for insight because I call it the animal collective. All of your beautiful animals that you have welcomed and welcomed into my experience, that you've permitted me to connect with and have now become part of my collective. I just sit with them in my heart and I ask them to share something with me. And and today it was just like to play. It was just to play. So that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about angels and guides and reincarnation. A couple of questions that have come up recently throughout the chat on this video and other videos. People have been asking about angels and reincarnation. There's always questions about reincarnation. Something that really struck me that I wanted to share was that someone had asked a couple questions about Aloka. If anyone is familiar with Aloka, is the dog who's traveling with the monks throughout the U.S. And it's this Aloka, right? I'm pretty sure that's the name. Um, I don't know why I'm questioning that all of a sudden, but I had a couple interesting questions about Aloka. So I have lots of fun things that I want to share with you guys. But first, um, Missy. Okay, I'll have to go back and look what that means. I just saw Lady Lemon's comment. Okay, let's scroll back up. Robbie, good to see you. And Lady Lemon says, if this is allowed, may I ask something for my sister? Her elderly cat Norman went to the Rainbow Bridge on the 14th, visited them just before, and she feels guilty for complaining about his meowing. Um, yeah, absolutely. You can ask anything. You can ask anything that you like, um, and because that guilt can just go. And this is something that is going to be planned for next week. I have had the honor of working with a little kitty cat who will be making his transition tomorrow to the Rainbow Bridge. And part of what came up for his human companion was the guilt surrounding the way she was feeling about his body not being able to control itself. And I just want to be able to relieve all of that for everyone. It's probably something, it is something we'll talk more about next week, about why sometimes that is their sign, that it is the only way they have to connect with us. And we don't ever have to feel guilty about it, ever, ever, ever. But if there's anything specific that you want to talk about, just let me know. Okay, Robbie, everybody loves you, dude. Girl, whoever, whatever. Everybody, my friend, loves you for your fun comment about you look 18. Aloka the Peace Dog. Wait till I share, Caroline, a little bit more about Aloka and what this question was that came up from one of the folks who was watching a video. But I'm scrolling to the top now, and we're going to look at Pat's questions. Thank you for renaming the community. I've been trying for some time to rename it. It wouldn't let me rename it. And there are still a couple other little soul pet channels out there that don't really do anything. But finally, after all this time, I was able to rename the channel to actually Soul Pet, which is what it has evolved at over time. I first started this channel before I even understood where it was going to go or how this was going to evolve. I just started the channel maybe 7 years ago. I think it might have been 7 years ago. And I would make a sporadic video here and there talking about Reiki or talking about whatever popped into my head is what I talked about. And little by little over time, it became this. It became Soul Pet. It just evolved naturally to become Soul Pet. So I have one more step to get my handle to say Soul Pet, and then we'll be on the road to truly being the Soul Pet channel. It is who we are, right? It is exactly who we are. This connection that we have, heart to heart, soul to soul, with our animal companions, they're our soul pets. There's just no way around it. Through practicing, Pat says, through practicing communicating with Logan, you've now begun to communicate with your father. That is a beautiful extension of this work. We are here as a group to really try to connect with our animal companions on the other side. Not because we are all mediums. I don't even like that word. We are souls. We are all souls, and we have the ability, soul, to connect with every soul member of our soul family, to overuse the word. And I mean, I've got a whole soul family on the other side. My animals, my relatives, there's just a whole group. And I love that you're able now to connect with your father. And even if you have, as you mentioned, a falling out, It's irrelevant on the other side. It's gone. It's like it's not just washed clean. It's like we have stepped off the stage. And here we are, those of us still in our costumes here on the planet, are play acting all of these things, taking ourselves way too seriously. And then when we get to the other side, it's like, okay, let's take off the makeup, take off the costume, and be our beautiful, amazing soul. And that's when we can really start to connect with our speaking from the other side with our loved ones back here on Earth. So it's wonderful that your dad is connecting with you and you are connecting with him. Phoebe definitely opened your eyes. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how our animal companions are not just pets, which we know that they are so much more than pets and so much more than family. That they are all here for us. They came to be here just for us and us for them. So it's really kind of a cool relationship that we have. There's never been another soul in my life that has stolen my heart like Logan. That's when you also know that that animal companion is a soul pet. You just know it deeply as a fundamental part of who you are, that you are connected in that way. And you're not the same person because of him. That's the core of the whole message is that none of us are the same people anymore. Lucy and I will not ever be the same. And it was Lucy's crossing that transformed me and started this work as soul pet. It was Lucy's passing, but she changed me forever, forever. And every single animal who has ever come into our lives has some purpose, even if they're not necessarily the soul pet. They come to us with a purpose, and that's what we're going to talk about. Um, they know what's best for us, so they sure do. I mentioned in a post about my latest rescue after their owner passed. We only were acquaintances in the last life, as far as I know. Why, after 7 months, does she need to transition on Wednesday? So, Sherry, I'm not 100% sure. I think I think what you're saying is that you have a foster with you right now who's going to transition on Wednesday, and you can follow up in the comments with me for that. I'll scroll down a little bit because there's a whole lot of comments there. So I'm not sure what you're asking about that, but I'm going to try my best to answer the question. Um, why, after only 7 months, does she need to transition? Um, because her work is done. That's the answer that I have for you. Her work is done, and it's not whatever she feels she came here to do. She's done, and so she's ready to go. And I don't have an answer beyond that. I will, as we get a chance, I'll try and scroll down and see what if you wanted to follow up on that question a little bit more. Let me adjust here. Um, but that's why. That's why they all eventually leave us because their work with us has been complete. And so they transition over to the Rainbow Bridge, which we know is right here. It's not some far off distant place. It's not some far off distant place where when they pass, they transition out to this place in the far corners of the universe where there's a beautiful rainbow bridge. And that's just our human way of being able to focus on being able to frame the fact that they're no longer in their physical body, but it's right here. The Rainbow Bridge, right here in the heart, the Rainbow Bridge, right next to you. They don't ever leave your side. Dun, dun, dun. She is loved and will be missed. Does she also help open my eyes? Oh, yeah. Sherry, every single animal comes into our life for a reason. I love to use the example of the raccoon that knocks over the trash can. Every single animal comes into our life for a reason. Um, and I sometimes we don't know what that reason is for a long time. I did a in-person class very recently. I hold these little workshops at a local crystal shop here, and I put some pictures up around that because it was about animal communication with wildlife, and I had a picture of a wolf. And one of the women in the class said, when I was a young girl, I was bit in the face by a dog that looks just like that picture. And I'm experiencing PTSD right now. And I said, I'm happy to remove the picture. I'll be happy to flip it, take it out of the room, whatever you need. She said, no, please don't do that. I want to sit with her and understand what happened to me and why I feel this way. So we may never know for a long, long time, if ever, why a particular animal came into our life, but they all come into our life for a reason. So, did she also help open your eyes? Sherry, you already know the answer to that question, don't you? Because the answer is yes. Um, Hello, everybody. Okay, let's keep going. Yep, Sharon with Benny, your eyes have definitely been opened. Sharon, I know, girl, that your eyes have been opened so much. Um, and maybe tonight we can talk about orbs too. We haven't talked about that in a long time. Uh, Pat says, I mentioned a while ago that I'm in the spiritual but not religious category. I don't care for religious dogma. And that's where I also find myself. I'm in the camp of spirituality and oneness and unity and connected to everything. And everywhere I turn, I see all that is. I see the divine creator. I see whatever you want to call that for you. I don't even like to use the word higher power anymore, but whatever you want to call whatever it is that created us and everything. I see it everywhere, and religious dogma is quickly dropping by the wayside. Um, Religious dogma was used as a form of control, and we're going to talk a little bit tonight about this shift in consciousness that we are experiencing as humanity. There are still many people that are mired in the dogma, but there are so many more that are awakening, and pretty soon we're going to hit the tipping point. There will be a tipping point where there is enough people to spiritually, metaphysically, I'm searching for the word, make a difference. It's going to shift. It's going to change, and that we're quickly reaching that tipping point. And but for some people, that's the other part I want to say. For some people, that's important. I do want to mention that we receive the vessel that works for us. So the way for us to understand our connection to all that is, it's going to be different for everybody. I have a sister who is drawn to angels. Everything is about angels. And that is wonderful that she receives her insight through a connection to angels. There is a wonderful man, his name is Kyle Gray, who does Angel Mondays. I just receive a little newsletter every Monday because it's just very heartwarming and comforting. And but there are people whose connection to angels is so strong that that is where they receive their intuitive information is from angels. For other people, it is ancestors. For yet other people, they have a deep connection to their ancestral lineage and to the ancestral lineage of everybody. I'm thinking of one person in particular, Diane, hi, if you're watching this recording, who are deeply connected to ancestral knowledge and receive their information that way. For me, it's animals. Animals of all kinds give me information. I can close my eyes. I don't even have to, I can be walking in nature and feel the connection with all of the animals who are in nature that I'm walking by. Um, for me, that's where I feel the connection is with animals. And we're going to get back to Aloka, why I think that Aloka is so important for giving us this, for sharing with us information. And for other people, it may be religion. There are some people who greatly benefit from that religious experience, whether or not we want to call it dogma. They are deeply tied to their religious life, and if that is what how they choose to make their connection with all it is, then I honor that. It's getting hot in here now. Finally, right? It's starting to feel like spring, at least here in Wisconsin. It's starting to feel like spring. Okay, let's see what else we got. Um, Thank you, Sharon. Yeah. Every week it's a little bit different, you know. I just got to go with the flow. And you can tell when my own spirit starts to awaken after the winter. Having been through a very dense winter is what I'll call it. Having been through a very dense winter, now to have the sun start to shine again and to feel the spring air and hear the birds in the morning, you can even, yeah. So anyway, thank you very much, Sharon. It's reflected in my appearance too. Animal perspectives on vet care, please. Gina, I'm nervous to go there because I don't want to insult anybody. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I have friends, very close friends who are veterinarians. I've seen both sides. I've seen the good and the bad, and I did an interview. If you'd like, Gina, if you want to go find an interview, it's in if you hit the video tab. The tab across YouTube will say videos, shorts, live. Under the video tab, I did an interview last week with a veterinarian who is an amazing veterinarian. I think there are some amazing veterinarians. I also think there are some stressed veterinarians, and I think that what our animals are trying to do, I'll just put it this way for now, and maybe we can pick up that subject a little bit. Um, our animals are trying to show us that they are looking for holistic care just like we are. So if you are seeking out holistic care for yourself, I can guarantee you your animal is looking for that same thing. And I think part of the reason that our animals are so selfless is the word I want to use. They are so giving and selfless and willing to go along with all of the things that we ask of them when it comes to veterinary care, because it's one of the ways that they're trying to teach us. I think it's one of the ways that they're trying to teach us that it's time to rethink our strategy on nutrition. It's time to rethink our strategy on over medication. It's time to rethink our strategy on everything for ourselves and for them. I think they are trying to tell us, wake up. Wait, I know this. I know this from my own gypsy. Wake up, my friend. I don't need this. But anywho, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole quite tonight. All right, let's see. But I'll see if I can do a little bit more on that, Gina. And I also want to see if I can interview a couple different veterinarians. That veterinarian was a holistic veterinarian who practiced Chinese medicine, practices healthy nutrition, natural nutrition. I think, and she's a young vet, I think more of the veterinarians coming out of vet school are not falling into the same trap that an older generation of veterinarians might. All right, let's keep going. I only love animal lovers. There you go, Z. Yeah. Uh, oh, Ann. I do say hello to Ann. I do remember that. Um, yeah, where is our Kali? I'm going to scroll down and see if Kali has joined us yet. That seems to be all the questions. Um, Aloka, we're going to talk about Aloka in just a minute. Here's one from Z. Can a cat be overwhelmed by another bigger cat in the house that she gets psychologically ill? Well, that's an easy one to answer, and the answer is yes. I think that all of our animal companions, they can have they're just like us. They have preferences, right? We have preferences about the people that we want to spend time with, the people that we don't. We know if we're feeling if somebody's energy is too much for us or if it's not the right kind of energy for us. And many of us do not step away from that, but others of us have learned how to kind of set those boundaries. But often the cats who are living in the same household don't have a choice. They've been put together by their human. I talk about agency and that animals have preferences, they have choices, but they very rarely have the opportunity to act on those preferences and choices. So what I think that that cat may be trying to teach is that they need to be separate. And this also came up with I'll give you the example at the crystal shop. The person who owns the crystal shop has a dog and a cat, and the cat was there first. I can't remember who came first, the dog or the cat, but the dog is wonderful and sweet and loving, but really wants to pick on the kitty cat. And it was stressful for everybody. It was stressful for the human, it was stressful for the dog, it was stressful for the cat. Everybody's all stressed out. So the kitty cat became the shop kitty cat. At the crystal shop now is this wonderful little kitty cat, and she is in heaven. And the dog is now completely unstressed. The cat is literally magical. Talk about putting a little piece of bibbity bobbity boo into the crystal shop. It's amazing to see this beautiful kitty cat. And there's a camera for after hours, and you can see all the people after the shop is closed coming to the window. They're like looking at the little kitty cat. They're saying hello. The kitty cat's walking back and forth, showing off. It's amazing, just amazing. So that may be the message that the two kitty cats are not meant to be together. And I don't know that there may be an opportunity to fix that. Lady Lemon says he was 18. I just don't know what to say to her to comfort her or Norman's younger sister Daisy. All right, so I think I've missed something in the conversation. Um, may, okay, we're going back to her elderly cat Norman went to the Rainbow Bridge on the 14th. Feels guilty for having him meow. He was 18. He was her boy. I just don't know what to say to her to comfort her or Norman's younger sister, Daisy. So, first of all, about Norman's younger sister, most cats are very aware. Cats are cats are magical, literally, and they're so very tapped in. They know more than we do. They understand. They are amazing teachers. So I think Daisy may be reflecting back some, if Daisy is reflecting any kind of grief or depression, it's probably a reflection of what her human companion is feeling. But kitty cats really bounce back fairly fast. Even my own dogs have at different times with loss have seemed they didn't take it the way that I thought they would. And because they understand, they don't question death like we do. They don't second guess it. They're not walking around going, "Wow, I wonder where my dog went. Is it I must be a bad doggy because my other doggy companion isn't here with me anymore." They don't go through any of that. That's so human. It's just it's we people who might think that way. So they usually bounce back pretty quickly. You can remind Daisy that Norman is still there and that Norman's energy and spirit and essence, even though it left little Norman's body, is still present. And usually cats will, they'll look off into a corner. They see energy differently than we do. They have a different ability to see the full spectrum of energy than we do. So Daisy will be fine. But as for human mama, what would I say if I wanted to comfort someone? I would let them know that everything they did out of love. And even if our little cat or dog or horse or mouse or snake, it doesn't matter the species, even if they do something that irritates us, it's okay because in the end, we know how much we love them and they know how much we love them. And they also don't carry that around. They don't carry it with them. When they cross to the other side, the slate is completely wiped clean except for love. They don't get to the other side and say, "Well, I wish you hadn't hollered at me for meowing." It doesn't happen. They would rather, yeah, I would ask her to just sit with her heart and open her heart to feel and feel his, Norman's little paws just tapping on her chin. Feel the little bump of the head under the neck. Know that Norman hasn't gone anywhere and that Norman, they don't carry grudges on the other side. They don't carry grudges. They return to a place of pure positive love. And the only guilt and the only person who needs to forgive themselves are we humans. We're the only ones who need to find a way to forgive ourselves. And I just heard an interesting quote, a quote that said, "You wouldn't need to forgive if you didn't at first blame." And that just struck me as very profound. Like, oh, I wouldn't even have to forgive myself if at first I wasn't blaming myself. So let go of the blame and you'll let go of the need to forgive, and you'll feel it in your heart. You will feel just this moment of relief when you hold your animal companion in your heart. You just think of them, even if you gaze into a picture, you just think of them and remember the love. And doesn't matter if you cry, remember the love. And as soon as you feel that love, let your body be filled with a sense of relief and with a sense of peace, and that's how you know that they're still with you. That's the best way they have to get through to you is through your feelings like that, to feel that connection. Okay, so hopefully I answered that question. Nunya, my rescue Abby is transitioning in 2 days. She wants to be with her mommy. Oh, Abby's the rescue. Okay, Sherry, I got it. And yeah, that will often happen too. When we are fostering or taking care of animals who have previously spent their time with someone else, they may have come to you for a specific reason, Sherry. There's something that you needed to know, but now they're ready to go home, and so they will. Z, Elaine gets it. Okay, what do I get? I missed a conversation here somewhere. That's okay. Let's take my sister was going to have Norman buried, but she didn't want him to be alone in the cold. Okay. And what if our relative who offered their garden moved? Good question. So our cousin paid for her to have a cremation. Those are all common things, all very, very common things. Lady Lemon, you may not know that I spent 5 years working in a pet crematory at a pet funeral home. So I've seen just about everything, and so many people who did say that they moved at one time, and then what about their little doggies' remains, their little cats' remains, and if somebody had moved, it's okay. It's totally okay. No matter which way you go to honor their little body, it will always be fine. I have found that for people who have, let's just say that You created a special little site out in your backyard under your kitty cat's favorite tree. And then 5 years later, 10 years later, you moved from that location. Their their little body may still be under that tree, and they are happy there because that was their favorite tree. So it's totally okay to leave them be where they were happiest, or wherever it is that you decide that they can be. I'm thinking of it being a relative who offered the space. Their essence, their soul, their spirit goes with you. It doesn't matter where you go to the ends of the earth. It will always, their spirit will always go with you. But I understand that, and the cremation is more and more common now, because it allows us to have our animal companions remains with us, and you can get little paw prints and little nose prints and those kinds of things. Um, so I hope she's not feeling too guilty about that. Um, I want to rescue that cat, even though I'm a dog person. Okay, I'll let you guys keep talking amongst yourselves. Um, I had to keep them separate every time I left the house. Okay, oh good. All right. So you guys, I love that you can help each other solve their problems. The fourth year since Kai left for the Rainbow Bridge, and you're still not there yet. Um, Still not where yet. Um, Feeling connected to Kai, because I'm hoping that after tonight, after every Monday night, I hope you feel a little bit more connected. Um, all dogs are buried under a tree in my backyard. Oh, okay. All your dogs are buried under a tree. That's beautiful, Pat. I like for me, I'm a vagabond, so I don't have a place that's permanent. So, my little animals travel with me. Okay, let's talk about some more stuff. Let's talk about some of these things like Aloka and talk about some of the questions that you guys asked this week that brought this up. And I'm keeping track of the time. All right, we are good. Um, oh yeah. So anybody else who's got questions, ask any question you want. Just type my name real big in the comments so that I see it, because the comments fly by and I don't always see them. So I will try to see anything that you highlight, like Elaine, question. Okay, angels, guides, reincarnation. Let's talk about Aloka. This was the question that I found really, really fascinating. A person asked me, am I familiar with the peace dog Aloka? And I said, yes, I understand who Aloka is. And what a beautiful thing that we have this, number one, these traveling monks who are just spreading peace wherever they go, but Aloka, the dog. And the person asked me, do you think that Aloka, is it possible that Aloka is a reincarnated monk? So if there was a monk who crossed back over to the other side and with all the stuff going on in our society said, I'm going to look, all the monks are doing this walk across the United States. I'm going to join them and I'm going to come back as a dog. And I said, that's certainly possible. It's absolutely a possibility that Aloka is a monk, but I think it's something different. I think Aloka is a teacher, and I use teacher with a capital T, like Buddha or Jesus or even Gandhi, Mother Teresa, whoever all the teachers are. That's what I think Aloka is. I think Aloka is more than just a dog. I think Aloka is more than just a monk. I believe, as I sit with this feels even more true for me. I believe Aloka is a teacher that came here in a form that we find relatable. The people who want to just have their picture taken with Aloka, the people who go out to see the traveling monks so that they can see Aloka, Aloka, who just the peace dog, who is bringing this sense of peace. And now, can you imagine? So you're sitting in your living room. And you realize that coming through your front door is Buddha. There comes Buddha right through the front door, and you're probably going, okay. And Buddha starts to like give all the great advice. So there's Buddha and speaking all the things and you're like, okay, thank you. Nice. That's beautiful. I will try to internalize all of that. Thank you for coming to teach me. Now imagine if Aloka walked through your door. If Aloka walked through your door, what would you be doing? I think it's a completely different thing. We'd be like, oh my gosh, Aloka, what a beautiful doggy. Look what you're doing. Oh, how you're bringing everybody together. And I just want to sit and just, if I could just be in your energy and I just want to feel your love and I just want to love on you. And you're making us all feel so loved and connected and united. And can you, I mean, that's what I think. That's what I think the difference is. We could have a teacher come to us and teach us, and we would hear the messages, or we could have something so relatable like Aloka, who would come to us and unite us in this beautiful spirit of dog. So that's what I think about Aloka. And I do believe it's a form of reincarnation. We've talked about reincarnation many times on this channel. We'll talk about it many times yet to come. But that reincarnation is can be so many different things. And in this case, I believe it is all that is coming together in the form of a dog to help humanity. So that's my little thing for humanity. Aloka came in a form that we humans can receive and that we can hear. Um, exactly two dreams about it. Okay, I'm going to keep scrolling down a little bit. Right, it's the soul. You're so right, Z. I watched the monks and looked up Aloka's story. That's it, Cheryl. That is exactly right. That's what we do. We just looked up like where did Aloka come from? And look, and who is this dog that's just walking across the country every single day with the monks? It's amazing. Um, Hello, Nico Princess Zavi. Remind me of your name again. Nico's human or Princess Zavi. Just yeah. All these handles. It's something to get a handle on. Aloka has a heart shape. Yeah, that heart on Aloka's head. It's amazing. That heart on the dog's head is off the charts. It's off the hook. Um, yeah, you know that that dog is something special. I just got in late. I've healed a lot since our last week's session. Thank you. Oh, Alana, I'm so glad. Charlie. Okay, there we go. Hi, Charlie. Let's just make a little note here for Charlie. And then I'm going to talk about Yoda a little bit and Jedi. Charlie is Nico. Okay. Uh, Charlie Chill. That's right. That's right. Okay. Okay. The next thing I wanted to talk about was something else that somebody said to me. And I really wanted to touch on this because I think it applies to all of us. I was helping someone who wanted to connect with an animal companion on the other side on behalf of somebody else. So it wasn't me doing this. And I said, if you have the ability, you trust that if a friend or family member is coming to you and asking to receive a message from their beautiful soul pet on the other side of life, not only do you have the ability, but that soul pet is coming to you through them, saying, this is how I need to get a message to my people. And I know that you can hear me, and I know that you can feel me, and I know that you'll receive this message. So would you please share it with them? That's what I want you to trust in. I want you to trust that everybody. So anyway, the thing is that she called me Jedi. She said, "Oh, I made this beautiful connection," and she listed all the things, and yes, yes, yes. But I'm not the Jedi. You are. I promise. I am on this journey right by your side. Everybody, everyone on this channel, I am right along with you. I'm still learning. Are we all at different stages of our growth? Yes, we are. All at different stages of our awakening? Yes, we are. I've shed a whole bunch of things that I used to carry around. I've shed the fear of death. I've shed the doubt. For the most part, I've shed the questioning. Every once in a while, I still question myself. Some days I'm still Luke Skywalker, and other days I'm Yoda. It's just all part of the learning experience of being human. And I just want to tell you guys, every single one of you, Pat, Sharon, Sherry, Z, Cheryl. I can't say all the names because I'm going to forget them all. You have the ability to connect with your animal companions on the other side, and I know that you know that because you are Jedi. We are all Jedi. What that simply means to me when we say that we are Jedi is that we understand our connection. We know, and although we sometimes question, although we sometimes doubt, we step into our power and know that we have this connection, and it changes everything. It changes like Pat said, it changes your whole life. Sherry said it too. It changes everything once you just make that little tweak to your perspective. It changes it all. So let's talk about the shift. So the shift is, I think, that there is this expansion this expansion of consciousness. It's happening throughout humanity. I think it's happening all over the world. It's not just here. I think there are pockets of people just like us who may be exploring different things that, I mean, here we focus on our soul pets and our connection to our soul pets. There are, I know just on YouTube alone, there are so many spiritual, metaphysical channels that explore all different kinds of things. And everybody's going to be drawn to a different thing. But the all of our groups together, when we come together and have conversations like this, we are raising the consciousness of not just humanity, but of the universe. We are shifting consciousness. And that shift is really, I mentioned it in the beginning, that shift is, it's reaching a tipping point where soon there will be enough of us that we will start to make a profound difference in the way that things are done on our planet. Um, Animals. That was the other thing I want to say, animals. Why Aloka and why animals? I'm particularly drawn to animals, and lots of people in this little community are drawn to animals, not just soul pets, but to animals in general, right? To talk to the crows, to talk to the squirrels, to go out and just commune with nature and plants and trees. Because animals, like Aloka, they seem to, what's the word I want? Animals seem to be able to bypass our defenses and get through to us with messages that we would not otherwise be open to receive. And I think that's where the soul pets come in as teachers because they're like getting around our defenses, all the natural skepticism, all of the all the questioning, all of the doubts, all of the being caught up in the socio-cultural things that we've been taught. They figured out that they can sneak around and get into the back door and be able to connect with us. And it teaches us how to be better people. It teaches us how to be connected. Um, we'll talk about more about the teaching in a minute, but that's what I really thought that they bypass our defenses. Excuse me a moment while I take a drink. Still just for, you can hear it a little bit in my voice, a little bit of a spring cold, I'm calling it. I also have my little mints here, just in case. Um, oh, that was I wrote about Buddha walking in your front door. So let's then talk about guides, angels, um, and I wrote down a couple things that just came to me. Questions came up about our spirit guides and how do we know who they are. Question came up about angels and what is the role that angels play, and also then ascended masters. So like a Buddha. And if you're depending on your particular religious upbringing, it may be Jesus, it may be a Buddha, Krishna, whatever that is for you. So, spirit guides, let's talk about those first. Spirit guides are, it's our team. That's what I call them. It's our team that is on the other side of life, is how I might refer to this. We often say on the other side of life, on the other side of the veil. But it's the energy, this energetic field that is all around us. That's where our spirit guides are. They're always with us. They're part of us. They're here, there, everywhere. There's no like you're not going to look off and know that your spirit guide is sitting on a cushion over in the corner there. They're part of your energetic field. We've all got this beautiful energetic field, and in that is our group of guides. We all have them. I want you to know that if you could learn how to tap into your spirit guides, and your soul pet is part of your spirit team, that if we could understand that they are here for us, they have our back, we can ask. And sometimes we don't even need to ask. We don't even need to ask consciously. It's something that we ask in our heart. They will help guide us. They're the ones who send us intuitive signs. They kind of point us in the right direction when we feel, even though sometimes we don't listen. I mean, I've been guilty of this. You're walking down a path, and I'm using it as a metaphor, figuratively. You're walking down a path, and do you go left or you go right? And you just have a sense that you're supposed to go right, and darn if you don't go left anyway. But it's okay because your spirit guide will always find a way to nudge you back to the path that you should be on. Nobody is ever going to be totally lost and to die in vain, having never figured out anything for their beautiful existence. Our spirit guides are always there for us. How do you know who they are? I like to use automatic writing. That's just my thing. got my big pen, I got my journal. I sit down and I just ask the question. And one day it came to me so clearly. I did not have my pen. I did not have my pad of paper. I was walking outside and it just hit me that there was a person, a man named Christopher, and I got the sense of older brother. These thoughts just came into my mind. I don't know where they came from. It's not like hadn't even asked the question. I wasn't like walking on down the road going, boy, I wish I knew who my spirit guide was. I wish they would tell me his name. It was none of that. All of a sudden, I just had a sense of knowing that, oh, there's who's Christopher? I have a brother? I don't. I have three younger sisters, so somewhere there's a brother. Um, and and I knew that he was like my main cheerleader. He's the one who's holding me up at the times that I feel most down. And that's how, and then I would sit down. I would take my pen, I would take my paper, and I would ask. And you may get the oddest answers. You may not even be sure what kind of answer you're getting, but that's how you understand who your spirit guide is. It will come to you intuitively when you allow yourself to be open to it and when you don't question. That's why I like to write down immediately. When I get thoughts like that, instantly write them down so that I don't wake up the next morning and go, wow, I was really daydreaming yesterday. Don't chalk it off. Don't chalk it up to just a daydream. Trust that your imagination is a very powerful thing. And when you receive information like that, you didn't know it one minute and you did know it the next. That's how you know that it's true and not made up. I'm just going to check questions now. Twice I had the squirrels hide because son-in-law was out hunting them. He got mad that they were all hiding. He thinks I'm nuts, but he's starting to believe. I told you guys, right, that that when my son and my husband got to go hunting together, elk hunting, and it was right before my husband went to the Rainbow Bridge with Jack and Lucy. Um, they went elk hunting together, and I simply sat down in my chair and I reached out in my mind and my heart and my soul all together, and I was just like, elk, head for the hills. Because there's not going to be any elk hunting. They can go and have a good time and enjoy their camp out, enjoy camping in tents and sitting around campfires, but there will be no elk hunting. Um, Always tethering me to the present moment. I feel like my Yoshi was very Buddha, okay, like what he taught me and how he was. I called him Little Buddha. Alana, that's beautiful. That I think, and I don't know if Yosh was I'm guessing a cat, but not necessarily. Little Buddhas, 100% little Buddhas, and if that's what you get from that, that's how they sneak in, right? It's because we are they've gotten past our defenses. If a little Buddha actually walked in the room, you'd be much less receptive than a beautiful little kitty cat. Um, Diabetic, big time, and incontinence, and even pills can help. She just lays around and doesn't get up and greet us. Oh, she's ready. Yeah, right. You know, Shari. You know she's ready. We've had this discussion before too, and again, we'll have it many times. How do we know when our animal companions are ready to cross? They will find a way to tell you. They will find a way. And then they're flexible. They're flexible about it. Like if for our own sanity and peace of mind, we needed them to stay for a day or two, or they will. I mean, we've talked about this too many times, how Skyla um, made sure that we were able to get on a Zoom call so that her human companion could say it's okay to go, that I love you. So that's how they tell us. They tell us in the best way that they know how, in the way that gets our attention, that it's time for them to cross. I sincerely hope so does Z's. Okay, I didn't see what Z's comment was. Missy Lane, I was wondering about reincarnation. I keep praying for my Kai to come back to me, but if he did, how would I recognize him if he doesn't look like he did the first time? Um, that's fairly easy. Believe it or not, it's a fairly easy thing about reincarnation. If we are asking for the actual soul and energy of our soul pet to come back to us, and somebody once commented and said, I would never do that. I would never ask them to come back to me. I would never ask them to come back and experience the suffering again on this planet. That's perfectly fine. Then that is completely fine. In fact, that beautiful soul pet will guide you from the other side. But if you really want that, if you would love for them to come back, I call it co-creating the reincarnation. You can ask for, you don't even have to ask for a sign. You'll know it by looking into their eyes. They will get your attention. And as Jody knows, one of our viewers on the channel here, that her kitty cat was returned 3 times. 3 times a rescued kitty cat was returned from her people the to the rescue until Jody was the one who adopted. So they take a crooked path, but they will always find you, and you'll know it by 2 ways. You'll know it by looking into their eyes. You'll be able to look into their eyes and see instantly the soul of your beautiful animal companion, even if the animal's eyes who you're looking into, this is where it gets a little hairy-fairy, even if the animal's eyes to whom you are looking is like 10 years old. So let's say your kitty cat passed and you are asking for your kitty cat to come back and you're thinking that it's going to have to be a kitten because that's what we would think, that they have to be reborn again. But it doesn't work that way at all. Especially with our animal companions, they don't mind sharing. Excuse me. They don't mind sharing. I apologize. They don't mind making space for your soul companion to come through to you. And like Winston, I think Winston is the classic example of this. Winston was 10 years old when he came to live with me. And he found me. He was abandoned. He was walking through the woods. He was covered in mud. The poor little guy was just, he was just covered in dirt and pollen. And I scooped him up. He had no microchip. He had no collar. He had nothing. I tried everything. We put him out on all the websites that you're supposed to go to. We called all the veterinary offices. We called the Humane Society. And his owner was, we believe, had dumped him. So nobody was coming for him. And I most certainly was not going to leave him. He had some serious health conditions. And so he came to live with me. He lived with me for 2.5 years. When I asked him through animal communication, just sitting with him, contemplating, meditating, asking for insight. As I did this, I asked where he came from. I asked who his previous people were. I asked about his past life. And his response to me was so clear. I can't think of a more clear communication that I've received from an animal. His response to me was, "What past life? I've always been here with you." So in his mind, whatever happened in the past was irrelevant to his relationship with me now. In his mind, he and I had always been together. And I think that that's a form of reincarnation. That and it's the same thing I'm trying to make the point that if you were to adopt a senior dog, it's very possible that they are a reincarnation of your own pet because of your soul pet, because there are no rules around that. There's no rules whatsoever. And if everything is God, thank you. I see Elaine. I'll get to that in a second. Um, if everything is the divine, if everything is God, Buddha, Allah, Krishna, whatever you want to call that power, that creator, if everything is a part of that, then anything is possible. Anything is possible. And that's why I believe when I bring senior dogs or like gypsy special needs dogs into my home, I know that they're meant to be with me. So I hope that answered your question. All you have to do is look in their eyes and you'll feel it in your heart. That was the second way. You'll feel it in your heart. You will just know. You will know. And you won't question it even because you'll know it so clearly. And they don't even have to be the same species for them to be your soul pet. Elaine, regarding Precious Aloka, I was surprised that he does not like other dogs, yet I fully know that truth after many years working with dogs. What's your insight about this? Um, well, um, I think that sometimes, let me just frame my thoughts around this. That even though Aloka is a teacher and a bringer of peace and unity, that he is a dog. And not all dogs like other dogs. And there are some dogs who think that they are people. And I'm just talking about being a dog now, a canine. When you're a dog, and you don't necessarily like other dogs. And some dogs don't like other dogs at all, and they want to be people. And then there are some dogs, like I know my Gypsy. Gypsy thinks that she's a person. She does not know any better, because there are no other dogs in her experience at the moment. So she's pretty sure that she's a person. So I suspect that Aloka is a very evolved soul, and that his interest is in helping people and teaching people and being a part of this spiritual awakening, and other dogs just don't happen to be a part of that. Um, I just hope I'll recognize him. Don't worry, you will recognize. You don't, you can let go. You can just let go of it. You'll know, and then you'll be like, why did I ever doubt that I would recognize him? You're not going to miss it. He's not going to let you. He or she is not going to let you miss them in the reincarnation. Um, will vet care always be this insanely expensive? Oh, Z, we just had this discussion with the kitty cat who's going to cross tomorrow. The thousands of dollars that were invested in the care for this kitty cat. Um, Will vet care always be this insanely expensive? Without me like going down the rabbit hole of the state of medical care in general, that it's just a reflection. The state of veterinary care is simply a reflection of what's going on with even human care in the US. So I don't know. For the time being, yeah, for the time being, it's all about money. I'm sorry to say, for the time being, it's all about money. To be able to find a vet who can afford to practice without it being all about money, I think that sometimes it's between a rock and a hard place for veterinarians also. But depending on what's going on with our beautiful animal companions, are we able to shift something in their lifestyle going forward that makes it so that we don't have to go to the vet as often? I'm just speaking, I mean, rhetorically, there's no answer to that question. Um, but for right now, Z, I think the answer sadly is yes, because it's all about profit, especially for the large corporate veterinary providers. Yeah. I don't want to go, I don't want to insult anybody. I don't want to go too far down that hole, and because there are wonderful veterinarians in all areas of vet care, but it's expensive. Yeah. So I'm sure I didn't answer your question, Z, but there you go. Sarah, the first time I saw Peanut, I knew we had been together before. There you go. Thank you for sharing that, Sarah. I appreciate that. Your heart felt like it was going to explode in a good way. There you go. You knew it. You just knew it. And that's the way it's going to happen. And they're not going to let you miss it. You're not going to be like, oh, I missed my chance. I know. I think that was my dog. They're not going to let you. They're going to get returned to their shelter 3 times until they end up in your arms. More than 25 years ago, neighbor's kitty was hit by a car. The only vet they could wouldn't see her and said they'd pay first, even though they said nothing we can do but euthanize. Yeah. Dollars in care credit, cherry pet on I wouldn't have done anything to save him. Yeah, yep. That is where we are. I will just touch on that briefly. It's a little bit off the topic, but there's a video I did a long time ago. Um, and I'll see if I can find it for you guys, but it's not enough money to pay for the vet, I think is what I called it. And it was for a client who reached out to me to say that they didn't have the money to pay for the surgery that their kitty cat needed, and so they ended up having to euthanize. And the only reason that they euthanized was because they could not afford the care. And that is where many people find themselves. And yeah, I don't want to, that may be a whole topic for another time, but yes, I understand. I do understand. Even with pet insurance, right? It's not always a guarantee of what's going to be covered and what's not going to be covered. Okay, let's keep on going. Oh, the other thing that I would say, I'm going to put this out there because I knew this when I lived in Colorado. The local, um, it was not the Humane Society. They've renamed themselves since. They were called the Denver Dumb Friends League, DUMB, meaning for animals who could not speak. They were DDFL, and I can't remember. They've just changed their name very recently to something um, that's a little less confusing. Um, they offer low cost veterinary care and low cost afterlife care. So frequently you might be able to find more affordable care, not through a traditional veterinarian, but through your local humane society. So that's something because they receive funding and grants for that kind of stuff. So that's one way to go if you aren't do not have access. The other thing that I know of is that there is boy, you'd have to do a little research. I know this because I spent so much time in Denver, that there is a branch of the Denver Veterinary School that operates low-cost clinics, and the low-cost, no-cost clinics. There's a very large homeless population in the Denver area, and they would take care of those dogs. And that's how I learned about this was because I was a driver for a veterinarian. She had a veterinary ambulance, a veterinary transport company, and I was a driver, and I would pick up kitty cats from a low income housing. I would take the kitty cat to the clinic, and at the end of the day, go back to the clinic, pick them up, and drive them back home. So I know there are services out there for those who need it. It just may take a little research and a little digging. Elaine, scroll up. Okay, Cheryl. Make sure you let your sister know to watch Daisy, that she still eats in potties because they get depressed and will stop eating. Okay, thank you. Economic euthanasia. Yep. Is that what I'm supposed to look at, Cheryl? BlackRock is a significant investor in pet health companies, so you know it's going to be higher prices. Okay. Um, all right, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be looking at, Cheryl, so maybe you can remind me. Um, Hi, Kat. It was 2,500 to rescue Mango Kitty. 2 years later, 2,500 to help him cross. Roll the dice. Um, you could always do a GoFundMe. Yep. Okay. All right. I will let you guys continue to chat amongst yourselves. Now I see the word no. Keep going up. Okay. Keep going up. Here we go. I'm trying. Is it from you, Cheryl? I'm Elaine, question. Okay, here we go. Yet I fully know the truth many years after working with dogs, but I don't know what question it is that I'm supposed to be answering. I'm sorry, Cheryl. I have no idea what question I'm supposed to be answering. Um, Maybe you can put it in there again for me. Okay. We're at 8 o'clock now. So if you want me to get to that question, and we haven't hit on some of the things, I did my automatic writing. I got things. So what did I want to say? We didn't get a chance to talk about signs. But I am going to say this. I wanted to talk about soul contracts. I wanted to talk about signs. Maybe the soul contracts will be for another day. Signs. Okay, here we go. Elaine. Connected, yes. I've had exactly two dreams about him. The first, he looked happy and healthy, but the second, he looked worse than he did on his final day. Um, what to do? What do bad? It's it's confusing. Okay, well that's okay. I think I get I think I get the question. Same thing happened with me with Lucy. Um, Lucy is my soul pet, and Lucy's the one behind the channel. On the night that she passed, she came to me in the most beautiful dream I've ever had ever, where she came to me as this beautiful blue-eyed wolf, got her tattooed on my arm. She's inspired me to do the channel. She teaches me all the time. But yet, as recently as it was about a year ago, I had a horrible nightmare about her. It was the worst nightmare that I could have had. And I woke up thinking to myself, wait, 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 wait. I'm so far down this road. Why now would I have this nightmare? And so I did a little looking into dream work, just to get a sense. And I think that it just may be, as I thought back about that day, that what she did was come to me in a dream that allowed me to release some stress that I had been carrying. So instead of being stressed out about the situation I was in, she came to me in a dream that allowed me to release that stress. I mean, because I woke up crying. It allowed me to release that stress in a whole different way. That's really what I think. I don't think there was anything darker than that. I don't think it was anything deeper than that. I think she was still being my teacher, and coming to me in a way that helped me get over a situation that I found myself in. So it's possible, and it doesn't have to be that exact scenario. But if you sit down and just ask for insight about that, you'll receive something. You'll get some kind of clarity on what that was. Okay. Government funding needs to go. Oh, Z, you're preaching to the choir, hon. Um, Yeah, we're that right. Just us working out our trauma. Correct. Absolutely. Dreams don't always have to be anything more than that. They are a way of helping us release. Our body literally holds stress. I know this deeply from the past few months. Our body within our fascia, within our organs, within our cells, we hold that trauma, and if we don't do anything to shake the trauma off, whether it is just through a Reiki session or through journaling, dreams, it needs to be released. And if it doesn't get released, then that's when we find ourselves ill because that's how it kind of illness results from stress. But anywho, I'll let that go. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. What did I want to say? Oh, the last word. I'm going to close with this about signs. We will always talk more about signs. We'll always talk more about soul contracts. But for signs, when we think about getting a sign from our animal companion, I'm going to use the clouds as an example. Like, look at me. Here I am in the clouds. That's me. I'm your little kitty cat. Look in the clouds. That I want you to take it. I want you to shift your whole perspective because I want that. They're not saying, here I am. Look at me in the clouds. They're saying, look at me in the clouds because here I am. I am right here. That's what signs are designed to tell us. There's all kinds of teaching that we didn't even get to tonight because of all the fun things we talked about. But one of the things that they are teaching us is that they are right here and they will do anything to get your attention and tell you to wake up, please. Please wake up and understand that the death of a physical body is not the end, that energy cannot be created or destroyed, and their beautiful soul goes on and on and on, and the love goes on and on and on. So I had to get that in there about the signs, and will always talk about more about that because their whole job is us. Isn't that wonderful to know that you have that? Their whole job is you, is loving you, caring for you, teaching you, guiding you, holding you. That's their beautiful job. So I just invite you to look at that just a little bit differently. Shift your perspective just a little bit. Look at a much bigger picture and know that you are loved. Okay, my friends, that's it. Saw two angels and a heart in the clouds. There you go. Yes. And it's look at those two angels. No, look at those two angels. Look at that heart because they're saying, "Here I am, right here by your side." All right, my friends, that was a fun way to end. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting each other. Thank you so much for being part of this community and for watching. And like, share, subscribe. Love you guys so much. And until next Monday, may animals light your way. Night, everybody.